Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Homemaker Chic podcast. This is the podcast with Angela Reed of Parisian Farm Girl and me, Shay Elliott of the Elliott Homestead. And we meet you here every Monday to rescue the art of homemaking from the daily grind. We've been doing so for close on, 6 years, over 6 years now, which is a weird vortex of time that makes me feel like I'm 1,000 years old. But we're here nonetheless.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. I know I say it every time. I don't believe you when you say 6 years at all, but it is.
It's a big chunk of our life.
Yeah. And our friendship. And I just can't believe it's been 6 years. That's all. Full stop.
Yeah, it is wild because COVID doesn't feel like it was 6 years ago. It feels like something that happened last year. Is that normal as you get older? You just kind of lose a sense of time?
I guess it's just as cliche as it sounds.
Yeah.
All
the cliches are true.
The year 2000 was 26 years ago. I don't get it. I did that. Like, I had to scroll for my birthday the other day on a website, and it was like, felt like I was on The Price is Right. Wow.
Yeah. 20 years ago will always be 1980 to me.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
87 for me,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. I've been noticing this lately when we watch movies or shows. So my favorite show is Seinfeld by a mile.
Which is
and it's
ancient.
Weird. It's ancient. It's 30
freaking ancient.
It's 3 decades old.
Yeah.
So you add 3 decades to the people who played in that show.
Everybody's old.
Well, yeah. 30 years is a long time.
I don't know. I mean, not that they're old, but like I saw an interview the other day, like Phoebe from Friends, what's her name? Lisa Kudrow, she's 62. And I'm over here like, I'm sorry, what? Because that math doesn't work. 62. Like, that sounds really close to 70.
I reject that.
I reject that. Yeah.
Listen, I this season here on the Homemaker Chic, the
theme,
thank you. I couldn't think of that word, that we chose is do the thing. And to me, that's the perfect example of, if you can and it's responsible to do so, like, say yes, do things, build a life unapologetically, paint your wall, whatever it is, do it, because time will vaporize before your eyes.
Yes.
And then you'll be sitting back and thinking, oh man, 20 years ago, I thought I would be doing da 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 da. Or before you know it, well, that's another decade of life, 2 decades, 3 decades. It's wild.
Yes.
Stu said to me the other day, I talked about this, I think, maybe it was you and I talking privately. I can't ever remember, but we're both very much feeling the weight of the phase of the family changing. And look, if you guys have been listening to this podcast, then you know how quickly that happened, because I don't think Juliet was even potty trained. Maybe she was, but maybe just.
When we started?
We still had young babies. Yeah. So mine were all 10 and under when we started.
Yeah. So our youngest are 6 weeks apart or 12 weeks?
Yeah. So they were 4 when we started. Just almost 4.
Yeah.
3.5.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Junior was 3.5. So do the thing.
Do it now.
All that's to say.
Yeah.
Do the thing. You ain't getting any younger. That's for sure. Do you ever look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, this is actually the youngest I will ever look?
Yes.
Pending some unforeseen.
All the time. Like, I tell myself, you better enjoy this. You're pretty. like, you look great. Like, because this is it.
A couple of episodes ago, we talked about talking to ourselves, telling ourselves true things. Girl, I do this in the bathroom mirror every day. I'm like, basically, like, you is beautiful. You is kind.
You is good.
You is good.
Yes.
There's this video of this sweet little Italian girl.
Mm-hmm.
She must be like 4 or 5. And she'll just say, sono brava, sono forte, I'm brave. I'm sono bellissima. I'm beautiful, and she's just like revving herself up.
Right? Love
Sono
it.
brava. Oh, yeah. We're doing the
Yeah.
thing. Okay.
This is it. Today. Today's the good old days in the mirror, right? We talked about the good old days. That's what we need to put on our mirror. This is your
I
good
w-
old day, girlfriend. Yeah.
you know what I wish I really would have appreciated?
Mm.
If you're young, listen.
Where is
my
this going?
my butt. I'm sorry. I work out. Like I lift weights. I have strong leg muscles.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter. Not really. I just didn't know what I had until it was gone.
Oh
Here we
my
are.
gosh, Shay. It's so true. Oh,
I put on a dress for church the other day and I was like, I would rather be shot than wear that out without Spanx.
oh, I don't, I don't, yeah, no, I have to
The
have Spanx
lumpy,
on.
bumpy situation. It's like, what's that? Things are indented where they shouldn't be indented and purging where they
Bulging, you mean? Oh my gosh.
we got things going on. Anyway,
They're doing the thing.
they're doing the thing. Yes, they are.
Okay, let's say thank you to season sponsor, Azure Standard. I
Yes.
have a little story. I'm kind of giddy, but if you're not familiar at all with Azure Standard, they're a family-owned company based out of Oregon, and what they do is they deliver to your area non-GMO, organic foods, natural groceries, and all sorts of wonderful things like beeswax candles and wool socks and animal feed for your little farmette. Just about everything you can imagine can be ordered once a month on their website on your account. You pick a drop near your home, and a big truck pulls up, and everybody meets, and everything gets unloaded, and you get to take it home. You didn't have to wander aisles. You didn't have to source 42 different locations for those specialty foods for your family. They have everything. And the
Mm-hmm.
great part about it is typically when we think of something like this, we're thinking, oh, there's a membership involved. There's some sort of membership fee or something. And they don't have anything like that. You just set up a free account and do the thing.
Do the thing.
Last week, I was talking about maybe getting a drop in my area, like lamenting that I'd never done the thing, never gotten off my sagging butt,
Lumpy.
my lumpy, bulging,
Gosh.
and done that. And one of our listeners reached out to me and she's like, I'm in, and I have a handful of people that would be interested as well.
See, there you go.
Woohoo! So that's
Do
really
the
cool.
thing. It's so nice to have. And Ouser has extended a 15% off promotion exclusively for new customers when you place your first order of $100 or more, which is easy to do. So if you get on, create your account, pick your drop, place your order, you get 15% off, which is just amazing. I actually just picked my order up this morning, and it is kind of wild, the array of things. I'm like, okay, these are like toothbrushes, like non-synthetic toothbrushes, and chicken feed, and plant starts, and gallons of maple syrup. I buy all my vinegars, so red wine vinegar, white wine vinegar, rice vinegar, and I have them in the gallons, especially this time of year when I'm getting ready to pickle and preserve and make all the cold salads and wonderful stuff like that. So much that you can source there. AzurStandard.com is their website. You can get your account set up there and get 15% off. Actually, I talked to my truck driver today. He told me that this was the second route that he had done because the first route was so full. Like, I think people are obviously, normally it's just one trip for him in the semi.
Yeah.
He was already on his second. And I was like, why? He was like, I don't know, because we got awesome stuff. I was like, I guess that's reason enough. Okay.
Is there a code, Shay? A code? Or you just said AzurStandard.com.
Homemaker Chic, all one word.
Okay.
Homemaker Chic, all one word. And if if you ever forget it or forget the details of it, I put all that information in our show notes as well. I mentioned this last week, but I also told you guys I would put mine and Angela's newsletters, Substack newsletters in the show notes, and I did that as well last week. So if you want more Parisian Farm Girl musings or more Elliott Homestead musings, you can find all that information in the show notes as well. I thought about doing a newsletter for the podcast, but I was like, I can't do one more thing right now.
No,
I love you guys, but this is a talky interaction. We're talking. So for written interactions, you just have to go to the other newsletters.
For sure. Thank you for not committing us to that, Shay. Thank you.
I'm slowly learning now that I'm a few decades older.
Right?
Slowly learning. Yeah.
Let's do some comments.
Okay, let's do some comments.
We're going to talk about the nervous system today.
Yes,
we did.
We told you we would.
We seasoned that. We hinted at that last week, and you responded. So we are going to talk about the nervous system. But let's do some comments.
Yeah. Okay. So here's one from Meg. This is from last week's episode, The Good Old Days. If you love the Little House series, check out the Birch Bark House series. Very similar, but from a Native American family's perspective during the same time period. It has the same warmth of Little House.
Okay.
I've never even heard of that. So that's great.
Somebody maybe recommended that to us a long time ago.
Okay.
Oh, great. I'm writing that down.
Our family spends all our extra money on travel and books. Like, we will never have a big savings account.
No.
We just can't do it.
A new box of books.
I mean, I think we probably have 6 or 7 editions of Lord of the Rings. And that's not like the external books. That's just like the book series we have. Same with Dante. I mean, I think I have like 4 or 5 editions of Dante.
Cool.
Yes. Okay. You choose the next.
Katie Murray says, I love this episode. The good old days for me, because we were talking about the good old days, refers to when my daughter was little and she ran around in her diapers in the sprinkler outside. I just had no clue how precious it was and have major nostalgia over that time. Pictures make my heart ache so bad I can barely look at them. And I feel that when my kids go like digging in my phone, which has like 57,000 photographs on it, and they're like, look, Mom. I'm like, don't show me.
Here's a video of me talking when I was 2.
No, don't show me. I have to be really in
gosh.
the right frame of mind to not just have that about take me off at the knees, you know? That's tough.
The thing is about, maybe we talked about this last week, but I knew they were precious moments.
Oh, yeah.
I sopped them up.
Mm-hmm.
Just all the kisses and loves and storybooks and bath times and snuggles and but it's vapor. Like you can't, there's nothing to grasp.
For me, so the first reckoning I had with that was with Aiden. You know, when they're not yours, you just, I've been around babies my whole life, always babysat. I'm the eldest of all my cousins, you know, like just around small people my whole life. But there's something about like living it in real time. Those first 3 months, you know, you just think, oh, like a baby's a baby for so long. And they're so not. And I remember like at the 90-day, 3-month point going, like I was hysterical. It's over. That's over now. Wait. No one said that. I got a 90-day chunk of time with this newborn. This magical.
Where they're all squishy and curled up. And,
that's why I had 5 more. Because I just needed more time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insanely beautiful. I can almost like just smell them.
Right.
Also, if you're listening to this and you're older, be nice to your mom because she has like a decade of memories with you that you don't really remember.
That you don't have. Yeah. I think about that all the time too. They're mostly my memories. They might have 10 or 12, but they're mostly mine. Yeah.
No, this is really morbid, but you know, I used to travel a lot for work, and I remember feeling really relieved when my kids all finally got to the age where they would remember me if I died. Because I remember thinking, how could I love this person this much?
They won't.
And they have no concept.
Yeah.
they wouldn't know. They wouldn't know that I just
Mhm.
poured myself and I kissed all their little fingers and toes, and they would have no idea.
Mhm. Ugh. Yeah.
I know. I said it was a morbid thought.
Yeah, yeah, no.
I had a little postpartum depression.
Not funny. We're not laughing at that.
No.
We're laughing because we were there for it. Yeah.
Okay. This is also in reference to last week's episode where we talked about the tradwife movement. This is from Whitney Wu. Tradwife is 100% a fictionalized version of traditional women's roles curated for social media influencers. Barf.
Barf.
Agree with you, Angela. Keep on rocking, ladies. I've been here since the beginning and still love listening. Awesome. Thank you, Whitney.
Hey.
Something just fell down my shirt.
Well, it wasn't a microphone, so.
Okay.
Not on
It's
YouTube.
not a
It was
spider.
a wasp or something, right?
Does it have a stick? I don't see anything.
Yeah, last week I brought up that book. I don't remember what the book is, but I'm sure there's going to be more comments on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been thinking about that a little bit this week and yeah, still don't really make sense of it. Okay. Follow the tulip. Hello, ladies. I enjoyed this episode very much. My twin boys are almost 20 months and have started having their share of floor tantrums. I was wondering if you could share some wisdom on the topic in terms of training or discipline. What worked for you in the early years of training? Any book recommendations?
I just remember getting in their face, man. No, Mama said no. Like I was like
Walk
Dr.
it down.
Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and like I just didn't. I never negotiated. Like I remember deciding with Aiden. He's my firstborn. You're new. Like I'm not going to do this in public. I'm going to be prepared to leave.
Have you ever left a shopping cart?
I have. That's what I was
I
going to
have
say.
too.
There was one day at Trader Joe's where I was like,
Yep.
bleep this. We're out of here. I am not doing this. You know, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's, we were actually just talking with some friends about this last night because what we landed on was like, you have to marry your principles, not your methods.
Mhm.
So even with our kids, the methods look different, kind of based on the kid and their personality and what worked, what was effective for them. Like we had one kid where like isolation. I mean, and she'd be on her knees, just like, what can I do? I need restored fellowship.
Separate me from the pack. Yeah.
And there was another one that was like, I could do this all day. Like you just gave me what I wanted.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I had to
So,
a few.
And that's what makes it actually really tricky is that when books offer you here's the exact method to follow to get your kid to da-da-da.
Sure.
I don't buy into those because you have to take into account a lot of things. So, for example, like the history of the parent, what the parent is capable of executing well, consistently. With love and with love for their child, not with anger or frustration. And those are things that take a lot of wisdom. Like, I totally understand the impulse to be like, give me the checklist, please. What do I do?
Right.
But unfortunately, in our experience, it just didn't work like that. I would say training, preparing. So I remember, I'm sure I've shared this story. There was a family in our church that had 13 kids at one time. And the mom's name was Libby. So they were all in the van, right? And they pull up to the grocery store. And I heard this from one of the kids. Libby parks the van, looks in the back of the van at all the kids and was like, here's how this is going to go down.
Yeah, no, really. Like, before we would go in anywhere, it's like, this is what this is going to look like.
That's right. And if this happens,
right.
XYZ.
Right.
There's a couple things too that people said that were really helpful to me. One, if you say no, you have to really mean it and you have to be willing to like hold the line. Like you said, not negotiate.
That's why it's best not to like be shocked when they're naughty, like to so you don't react. If you're prepared and you expect it and you're like, this is kind of mentally how I will handle it, it keeps you from getting pissed off because it is easy to get pissed. I mean,
oh yeah. And at what point, that point, you're disqualified. In our house, that disqualified you from correcting the child. Like, and there were times Stu'd hand me a kid, I hand him a kid, I'm taking a lap, you take a lap.
Right.
I'm disqualifying myself because I
Uh-huh.
cannot do this from a good place right now.
Right. And the problem
So,
from proceeding with that is then you say stuff that you have no intention of following through on. And boy,
right. So
they're
then your
gonna, it
words
don't
mean
matter if they're
nothing.
two, they're gonna remember that. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't they ever?
Hmm.
Yeah. Clear expectations so that you can praise them when they meet them.
Sure.
Clear expectations so that you can hold them to that standard.
Hmm.
Um, Being careful what you say no to. And, we've talked about this a lot before, but putting those deposits in the bank account so that when you have to make a withdrawal with discipline, there's some money in the bank. Because, meaning, I showered my kids with affection. That meant something to them. So for some of them, it was like they wanted me to have a bunch of time to spend with them, right? Some of them wanted alone time with me. Some of them wanted physical affection. And those were like putting money in their bank account.
So like
So
with
that,
the isolation, like, the child you had with the
right,
isolation, yeah, you've made those deposits. Yeah.
you've made deposits so that when you have to make a withdrawal and say, actually, we got to deal with this thing,
Hmm.
you have some credibility. You have a balance to draw from because they do draw from that. And so there is just this kind of crazy relationship that goes on there. And maybe we can talk about that more, but yeah, lots there. But that devotion to loving your children, that's important.
Mm.
Okay, Alicia says, yes, please do a nervous system episode or 5.
Or 5. Seriously? I don't know how today's going to go. If we're going to end up just touching the tip of the iceberg and we'll have to bring in like Darla or Christy as a big dog
There you go. That's
or
what she
what. But
recommends.
oh, yeah, she sure did. Look at that. Let
Yes,
Darla or Christy
yes.
on.
So Angela made our notes for today, and I'm just coming in. I'm
Oh, that's
coming in
great.
cold.
Thanks, Shay.
Coming in cold, but I'm going to be here for
This
you.
flop.
And I do
It's
know a
Angela's
thing or
fault.
two about this.
Angela's fight or flight just kicked in.
No, I've got all kinds of thoughts, and I have been collecting things, knowing we were going to talk about this today.
Okay, I kind of want to just, I don't want to. I'm not a professional, okay? But I know that I went a long time never even thinking about my nervous system. And by a long time, I mean about 47 years.
Yeah, when did you first hear that word? Do you remember?
I heard it when I was dealing like in the throes, less than 47 years, but in the throes of my Epstein-Barr, because that's what
Yes.
everybody has their Epstein-Barr, people who have it, it like manifests differently. So for some people, it's like intestinal issues. Mine was like crazy nervous system issues. Like I would just be gardening and this feeling that I can only describe as whoosh would come all over me and my legs would get weak and my heart would start pounding. Like I could just have like a panic attack at like the flip of a switch. I would like start hyperventilating. My skin would get all tingly. It was really weird. I had all MS symptoms kind of going along with that as well. But that was the first time Christy, in fact, said it manifests in your nervous system. And I was like, my what? What are you talking about? And on my hunt to figure out what was wrong with me before I was diagnosed by her with Epstein-Barr, with labs and everything, I met with a ton of doctors, and they were just saying things like, oh, I remember once I went to the hospital like on Christmas Eve for heart palpitations, and the physician basically said, little mama needs a hot bath. Okay, so what I want to kind of talk today about is that the nervous system governs so much more than we think. And I'm sure we have listeners that they're doing the things. They're pouring a glass of tea. They've put their fresh flowers out on the counter. Husband got them a massage for Mother's Day, and it's like it didn't help. And I think that it's really important for us to understand that it governs so much more than we think. And I remember telling them, like, I don't feel stressed. This is just my life. It's very full. I have a very full family life. I have small kids. I'm an entrepreneur. Like I have a large capacity. I can take a lot on. I don't feel stressed. I feel active. I feel energized. But I don't feel like anxiety. And I didn't realize that I was like just so accustomed to it that I was just living in a fight or flight state most of the time. I remember once I went to like an acupuncturist that specializes in Chinese medicine, and she did all these tests on me, and she's like, basically you're just in fight or flight all the time. I'm like, even when I'm resting, when I feel fine? She's like, yeah, basically you're just stuck there. And I was stuck there for so long that like I don't the last labs I had done were a year ago. You know, I'm big on labs. Like I my cortisol was bottomed out. So a lot of times people will talk about like high cortisol, high cortisol, but you can live there so long then it just gives up the ghost. You know, so I don't know. I got a lot I want to go over. You can see my outline, and but
Mhm.
I do want to sort of maybe shed light for our listeners who maybe feel like, wait, the fresh flowers and the tea or the glass of wine or it didn't work. What is this? What am I dealing with? So
That's a lot there.
that's a lot there. It's an incredibly responsive part of our body, and I think we expect to like feel it after the fact, but I did a lot of reading this week and it can actually respond to a situation like before our brain has even registered what's going on, which is bonkers.
hmm hmm And it also learns pathways, your nervous system. So it will start to complete those pathways, whether or not any situation arises to justify them.
Okay.
So, so here's an example that happened to me this week.
Okay.
There's a lot going on, but anyway, I get this email. It's just dollar signs in the
Subject
subject.
line.
Okay,
Gosh.
what does my body do?
Yeah.
It was like it was like a sniper rifle.
Mm.
Good day, bad, stress, sweat, what, and it was a completely benign email. Okay, not good, not bad.
Mm-hmm.
But my body didn't know that. It was like if somebody's emailing you about money, it can only be bad. And so it had sort of learned, the nervous system had learned, hey, when we talk about money or when people approach us about money, we freak out. That's what we like to do.
Mm-hmm.
um, I heard this week about the nervous system that the nervous system is really a lie detector test. And I think that's why the massage or the cup of tea, it doesn't always work. It might help to bring it down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But what you're trying to say to your body is, hey, it's all good.
Yes.
And it's not all good. And your body's like, actually, it's not. So maybe I'm going to freak out a little bit harder so that you maybe pay attention to me a little bit more. Now I'm going to make it a little bit more. Let's throw a little diarrhea in there, a little anxious, like
Right. Like,
you're not listening to me.
yes.
And you're lying to me. You're saying, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. This is just life at this stage, but whatever that is.
Yeah. And it does throw things at you. Insomnia,
Exactly.
weird
It
reactions
finds
to
a way.
emails, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For no reason. Um, Interestingly, I see a lot of people working on healing their nervous system in a lot of different ways.
Okay.
So maybe you do your next point because I don't want to derail if you've got this outline here. But you and I talked earlier this week about the front end and the back end kind
Mm-hmm.
of the nervous system. Do you remember that conversation? So
I remember you were talking about like your prefrontal cortex. Like, was that a private conversation? I can't remember
yeah, it
anymore.
was.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I
Okay.
guess what I want to say to the homemaker is like it's okay, and don't be like shocked if you're like, oh, like if some of this is getting your attention, because what we get to do is a magnificent, magnificent thing, but we are manager of so many tasks. So whether it's the tantrums, like being on guard, anticipating the tantrums, whether it's um, daily needing to think about what we're going to feed our family, or how to manage the bills, where the bill money is going to come from, our own personal health. We're thinking about everybody's health in our family. Depending on your age, you're starting to think about your parent. Like you're in this constant like output. Who needs what?
Right.
Who needs what? Who needs what? Okay, you can't even walk down the stairs without seeing a sock on this. Okay, that means I gotta move that laundry along. Oh, but before I move the laundry along, I told myself I was gonna work out today. And that all of those little ticks all day long can just really quietly keep your nervous system in a sympathetic state. And the sympathetic state is your fight or flight. And like that sounds really dramatic. And a lot of us like want to go, no, 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 I'm not that stressed out. But no, but that's your nervous system. It might not be your countenance, but like this is what's physically happening. And you're either in rest or digest, which is your parasympathetic state, or you're in fight or flight. And
Hmm.
you can get on a really vicious loop and it can be really hard to get out of it. And I think it's important to listen to what your body is saying. Is it saying, gosh, I can't even see a text message come in without like dreading who it might be from? Or when the fridge is empty, that just, my heart starts to pound. I don't know what I'm going to do for dinner. It's those things, they're very real
And they have a physical impact
and they have a
on you.
physical impact. Yeah.
Okay, so this idea of the front end and the back end, I think, is actually really helpful for the homemaker in this situation. So, recognizing, let's say, that there's a problem that you feel a certain way, sometimes that means that you're actually going to change your circumstances to help facilitate a better response to that. I noticed that emotionally, I would really dip on Mondays. And I think you come off this beautiful weekend and then you have to like rev all the engines, right? And it
Mm-hmm.
was just like 8 o'clock in the office, open up the email, open up the text messages. And after like Sabbath rest, that was very difficult for me to make that jump. So my doctor suggested to me, why don't you block out the first few hours on Monday morning, give yourself a bit of an on ramp, move the laundry. So like actually let's manipulate your circumstances. That
Mm-hmm.
think about like what's allowed to come in the front end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Monday at 8 a.m., that's not quite the time yet for me to go through business emails. A lot, which are complicated and difficult and can
Mm-hmm.
elicit that nervous system like
Mm-hmm.
stimulation. So for the homemaker, I think this is a good exercise. Where do you recognize those points where your nervous system triggers?
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if it is not having food in the refrigerator or not knowing what's for dinner, that would be like a front end. Okay, maybe this means I need to pick up a grocery order every Saturday afternoon consistently so that we have what we need. Maybe this means I need to plan 3 meals ahead. Like there are things that you can actually do to alleviate some of that nervous system response to
Mm-hmm.
situations. Okay. That being said, it's never going to be perfect and stuff is going to happen that's unexpected.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
then that it's made it through the front end. Okay. Even if we tried to not let it, certain things are going to come through and things we don't have control over are going to come through, right? Like your kid
Mm-hmm.
falls off a bike and breaks an arm and you got to go to the hospital. That's not, you didn't like mismanage things. It just
Right.
happened.
Right.
Okay. So the back end idea is once something comes through, then how do I deal with it? So I'm curious. I know my response to this, but I'm curious, when your nervous system was to the nines, like all
Mm-hmm.
the way up here, and you felt that whoosh come over you like you described,
Mm-hmm.
what did you do then and what do you do differently now?
Then I was just in survival mode. I mean, I was really sick it, because I had so much going on. So then I had to just come in and like lay down and like ride it out because it was really, really horrible. Um, I found then a few weeks into like my protocol, like the treatment plan that I started on, which made a massive difference. Walking for me is very good. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if it didn't matter how cold it was out or anything. I don't know if it's the fresh air, the rhythm. I love walking. Walking for me was like about the only way I could sort of talk myself back down and get a bit of a handle on it. I mean, I do things differently today. This was just like nervous system heyday, utter chaos, vagus nerve damage, all of the above. But today, I don't want to jump too far ahead in our notes. Like today I definitely do things differently as far as if I'm feeling wigged out or I wake up in the middle of the night and I remember something and you feel like that adrenaline turn on and that whoosh, that adrenaline just like it's like you can feel it like a faucet gets turned on in your body and you're like, no, 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 no,
Mhm.
no, 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 no. We're
Yeah.
not doing this now, you know?
Yeah. Okay. We're going to take a quick break to say thank you to our Homemaker Chic sponsors. Your support of them keeps our show on the air. So thank you for supporting them. And then when we come back, we're going to hear what Angela does differently now. And people are also going to want to know, like, what was that protocol that made a big difference for you? Do you remember? I mean, this was a couple of years ago.
This was
I remember when you got on it, but I don't remember what it was.
yeah, this was a long time ago. It was pretty strict. It was like kind of all of the above from nutrition, like just a massive supplement routine, sauna, no gluten, no sugar. Um, it was a lot. It was a very intensive like gut reset meets vagus nerve repair. It was a lot. But it made a huge difference. Like I said, I was dealing with like MS symptoms from the Epstein Barr, and within like 4 months, I was just like a new woman. Praise the Lord. Not to say that I don't struggle with anxiety or nervous system issues now. My favorite thing to do now, and I think it's really like before we go down that too. I mean it's really important because I I do believe like a woman's nervous system really affects the home too. I mean it's we say like, oh, a woman can set the tone for the home, but if you can't like regulate your tone, if your body feels like it's freaking out on you and you don't really know what to do with it, that can feel really disheartening and impossible. And then when you have children involved, they're like they sort of co-regulate with you, they can tell how mom's feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's something for sure to look at. These days, I definitely still walk and I work out and I've made a lot of like decisions with work and just little things in the home that, like you said, like getting ahead of it. Okay, no, this does XYZ for me, so I'm going to get ahead of it here. But my personal, like physical biggest thing is breath work. And I've tried like lots of different, I've tried this, what are they called? Somatic exercises.
Mm-hmm.
I never really felt anything doing those. Like I trust that they were probably doing something. There's one simple breath exercise that's like my go-to. I use it in the middle of the night if I wake up and can't go back to sleep. I use it like before the plane takes off. I use it if I just have a moment of stress and I just feel like that fight or flight kicking in. And there's that box breathing that you can do where you take a breath, I don't know, 4 or 5 counts, and then you hold it and then you exhale for longer than you inhaled for. But my favorite one is when you take a breath like as deep as you can, like a diaphragmatic breath, and then at the very end, you try to grab a little bit more air, which feels like your lungs are going to burst. But you just do an extra little inhale at the end. Then you hold it for 4 or 5 seconds and exhale out of your mouth for 8 seconds. And that is like voodoo for me. That is the one. I've tried a lot of breathing exercises. That is the one that does it. I immediately, like 2 or 3 breaths in, I'll start yawning, which is a sign that you're then moving to your parasympathetic system. And it's just that one works for me. So
Mm-hmm.
I would tell people to like look into breath work and find one that can sort of be like a go-to for you.
Mm-hmm.
But physically, that's my favorite. Like
Mm-hmm.
immediate thing. You can't always get up and go for a walk, 2 in the morning. You can't do that. But that I found to be so helpful. It's my go-to.
Hmm. I recently learned that when you feel that whoosh
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, oh no, this is what now it's coming,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's happening in your prefrontal cortex. Okay.
Okay. That must be what I was referencing a little while ago
Yes.
when you asked my
But
question.
once, I'm going to say once you let it happen, even though I know sometimes you don't feel like you have physical control over that.
Right.
Okay. It moves from your prefrontal cortex into a different part of your brain. And once it's there, like there's no shutting that off because your brain is like, this is self-preservation.
Okay. You need to explain like what you mean by once you let that happen. Once you let
Okay.
what happen?
Okay. So I think my issues with my nervous system come out a little bit differently than yours. Like
Mhm.
I'm very prone to frustration, anger, um, just like kind of cycles of difficult thinking, I guess is the best way
Okay.
to put it. Okay. So there will be something that happens and it can be very small. Like, I don't know, somebody drops a glass when they're unloading the dishwasher. Normal day, not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Some days that can be like the moment where you're like, oh no. And you can feel this like wave of what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can usually like I can recognize it. I've been living with it for a long time and I'm like, "Oh, no. It's going to be a bad day. Tomorrow's going to like it just okay."
Mm-hmm.
So, but once I allow that thought or that mood to roost and I'm like, "All right. Like strap in for the show." Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Um That's what I mean when you just like when I just let myself get really frustrated or be just pissy or grouchy or angry
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it is. There's no real walking back once that's happened. Okay? Because it's literally shifted from, hey, I can be reasonable about this. I
Mm-hmm.
can think calmly about this. I can be practical. I can practice wisdom about this. And that's what you're dealing with when you're dealing with a lot of nervous system stuff is like it's already gone to a part of your brain that's like, I'm not going to think rationally about this. You're just gardening, right? You're just
Mm-hmm.
gardening. You know rationally that you're gardening, but your body is like, nope. Like we're being chased.
Right.
There's an element. Like
Right.
so it's already gone to this piece of your brain. The way my doctor explained it to me was like once it goes there,
Mm-hmm.
you really can't walk it back. You have to let it, you have to let your brain essentially calm down and be like, all right, I guess there wasn't an elephant after all, which I think can take different amounts of time for different people. But the good news about this is that there are methods like your breath work where when you feel it start to come, you actually can put the kibosh on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, for some people, it's like taking a hot shower or doing a quick walk or doing breath work or, I have a friend who locks herself in a dark closet with like, just takes a tea,
Yeah.
just takes a tea. And it's like, you're basically saying to your body, you want to feel this way,
Mm-hmm.
but we're actually going to feel this way. And it feels very elementary. It feels like learning to walk again because you're really taking every thought and every feeling and every physical response to things, you're taking note of them,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you're keeping an inventory and saying, okay, this thought, good, carry on. This thought, not good. Let's check that one, right?
Right. Right.
This physical response, like somebody just sent me a text message. I don't need to freak out about that.
Mm-hmm.
So the good news is that you can do things like that to retrain your nervous system to respond appropriately,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is hopeful.
Right. You mentioned like the time it takes to go from here to here. Okay. So if you're listening, waving my hand
Mm-hmm.
around in front of my forehead and then to the
Mm-hmm.
back of my head, which was what Shay was referencing. Um, like that's seconds sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this is really like a know thyself situation, you know?
Yep. It
Yeah.
really is. Sometimes mine brews for a couple hours. Sometimes it's like I can feel it brewing and then my jeans loop gets stuck on a doorknob or something and you're like, all right, that was if I haven't
Time's
like
fighting words.
the
Yeah.
problem is the homemaker is busy. And she feels it
Right.
coming and she's like, well, too bad. I got stuff to do. I got to
Right.
go pack lunches. I got to get breakfast on the table. I got to do this thing, that thing. If I could encourage you to do one thing, it would be like, stop. If you feel that,
Mm-hmm.
or you feel that like fatigue in your nervous system or overstimulation, whatever it is, like whatever you got to do to take care of that
Mm-hmm.
is exponentially valuable in terms of what will subsequently happen from it. So like I wrote myself a list. When you start to feel this way, here's what you need to do. The first thing is like telling Stu, I'm I'm kind of trying not to go over the edge here. I might need a little help.
Mm. Yeah.
Or letting him know so he can, tread carefully. Or just be aware, like, okay, no, you go take 10 minutes, it's no big deal. Or I'll run the kids to a piano today. Or,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that looks like for your family. But communicating with them is really valuable. And, prayer is really, really valuable when you just say, look, somebody actually pointed out in the comments, and we didn't read it, but we talked about like lamenting a couple of weeks ago and
Mm-hmm.
how we want to tell ourselves true things, but at the same time, the Psalms are just filled with lamentations to the Lord,
Yeah.
David's lamentations to the Lord, and just, it's okay. That's a great place to take your uncertainties. And I'm always very comforted by the verse that talks about the Holy Spirit interpreting your groaning, because I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
I've had those like I'm literally not saying anything. I
Right.
am just in a posture of prayer. Maybe I'm crying.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm just writhing in anger, and I'm just like I'm here, and I do trust that makes it somehow to the
Mm-hmm.
throne. Like, so it's not something that you need to be able to articulate perfectly, I guess, would be
Right.
kind of the moral of that story,
Right.
because it's hard to be able to do that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah, I just think it's a really good thing to just become aware of that it's not always just you having a bad day. It's like it's your body like crying out,
Responding. That's
please,
right.
please help.
Oh my gosh, I
Please
wish I
help.
would have known this 10
Yeah.
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not, and your body's not trying to make life miserable for you. It's
Right.
trying to tell you something. And unfortunately, we just tend to not listen until the steam engines are going off.
Right. I love when Darla talks like, how long has your body been saying, could you just go have a glass of water?
Oh yeah.
Could you go pee?
Yeah.
Could you go have lunch?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
When was the last time when was the last time you fed me?
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a lot of I love the things that I'm learning right now. I'm also learning about just different constitutions of people.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I learn, the more I realize how individual people are and what works for one person. There is like an actual physical reason why that will not work for somebody else.
Yeah.
So I hate cold water.
Mm-hmm.
It's not refreshing to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Like my body, it's like it's visceral. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, years ago, I was like, okay, I'm just going to listen to that. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
that makes me a wimp, but that's fine.
Right.
Um, in kind of learning all these pieces as time goes on, working with my doctor a lot, I'm learning like, no, there's actually like a biological reason in your disposition, your biological constitution, why you're that way.
Mm-hmm.
Other people literally have the opposite.
Mm.
And I think that's so cool. And I think that's also really encouraging because it's not like, hey, Angela, what supplement did you take? What was your dosage?
Right.
Well, your path, the things that worked for you, are going to be fundamentally different.
Mm-hmm.
And so people have to do the hard work of being like, I have to draw from knowledge from other people by all means, but your constitution is going to be different.
Right.
Why? Ask the Lord.
Yeah, right.
God, why have you made me this way?
And you did say something too. You did say something too, like do the hard work. I mean, this is just a little tip of the iceberg, tiny, tiny tip of the iceberg podcast where we're just addressing and inviting homemakers to consider their nervous system. And that's because, homemaking isn't just about managing tasks. It's not. It's about, we always talk about our environment and the aroma of our home. And it's about like our physical environment and our emotional environment. And we're always talking about, giving the children a place to thrive, our husbands, like we also need to feel safe too. And sometimes we can tell ourselves we feel safe, but like our body is like saying, but I don't.
Okay.
And that doesn't mean like we're going to be harmed, but our body is saying, yeah, but I don't. You're not paying attention.
We're going to talk about that next episode.
Okay. All right. Well, let's.
So there was a few things we didn't like finish on, but I think they tie into what I really want to talk about.
Okay.
Which is like, look, it's springtime. We're doing things. I know you all want a gardening episode because you messaged us about it. We'll do that one maybe after this because
Angie's garden.
Angie's garden needs a little
far north. Like, let's let her Angie's garden get there first. Okay.
But let's talk about that building our environment piece.
Okay.
Next week. Cool. Okay. Ladies, thanks for being with us. As always, all of the sponsor information, codes, and links are in the show notes below this episode. So you can find those there. And huge thank you to all of you who support our sponsors. That is why we can continue. Yay. So we're super grateful for that and very grateful for our sponsors. Please share, like, comment. All of it helps the show. So thanks for being here. We'll be here with you next week.
Next week.
Okay. Cheers.